Welcome back to another hour of Scotch Hour. I'm Noah.
And I'm Jesse.
All right, this is episode 230, and tonight's lineup. We have the Bruichladdich Octomore 13.1. Then our shout-outs and get-togethers, followed by our restaurant review being Wood Paddle Pizza and Tap. And then, to follow that up, a hopefully fun discussion for our Smarter Challenge being that season 1 review of Landman. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
All right. Real quickly, before we jump into this, quick shout out to those who watch us on YouTube and Rumble. We greatly appreciate all of you, as well as the many listeners on the different podcast platforms you can listen to us on. We also thank you as well. If you like our content, please like, share, and subscribe. And most definitely leave some comments down below. We love to hear your opinions either, depending on how you want to say it, on the Scotch here or season 1 of Landman.
Scotch review.
Well, we've got the Bruichladdich Distillery's Octomore 13.1 super heavily peated edition, ppm at a 137.3 parts per million. Also bottled at cask strength at 59.2% ABV. Non-chill filtered, no color added. Definitely going to be a treat for us. A little bit about the Bruichladdich Distillery. It is located in the Rins of the Isle of Islay. They're off the coast of Scotland. The Bruichladdich Distillery Company actually owns their own distillery, so they're one of the few. Founded in 1881, they use a couple different water sources. The Bruichladdich Loch for their mash, the Bruichladdich Burn for the cooling, and the Octomore Spring for their bottling. They do have 2 wash stills, 2 spirit stills, and 1 Le Monde, which is adjustable for an annual capacity. Now, this is one of the smaller ones of only 1.5 million liters per year. This distillery has had its tough times and it's great times. Typically the tough times surrounded by those world wars. So it has been mothballed or shut down between 1907 and 1918. Reopened 1918 into 1929, but then again closed from 1929 to 1935. Had another short 6-year stint from 35 to 41. Closed from 41 to 45. Had a nice long stretch from 46 to 94. Closed one more stretch for 6 years there from 94 to 2000 and has been open the last 25 years now. They've got their core range. They've got the classic laddie, the Islay barley, the organic, the beer barley, the black art, and of course the Octomore series. So with the Octomore, they've got lots of different versions. They're currently coming out with the 16.1, 0.2, 0.3, and I believe a 0.4. But we're going back in time to the 2016 distill year, and the 13.1. Now they do age this one in particular, but the Octomore in first fill American ex-bourbon barrels, and they age them for 5 years. Again, non-chill filter, no color added, so this is all going to be natural. The biggest piece here is just how heavily peated they are. They have very uniquely tall and narrow neck stills, reminds me of the Glenmorangie, that they chose to produce a very pure and original spirit, the opposite of styles produced by the old farm distilleries. Bruichladdich was run by William Harvey for quite some time in the early 1900s, but again, right now we are dealing with Adam Hannett for the 2016 version as the head distiller. Any fun stuff about tours in this wonderful distillery on Islay?
They have two tours. The first one is their basic tour, which is called the Distillery Tour.
Yeah.
It's 25 Great British Pounds. It's 90 minutes or an hour and a half, if you will. It's just like I said, it's a basic tour of their Victorian distillery. Afterwards, you do get a guided tasting. They have another tour, which is called the Bruichladdich Tour. It's 75 Great British Pounds. And on the website, it says 150 minutes, which is 2 hours and 2.5 hours long. Not only do you get what's basically in the basic tour, but you also get the behind the scenes, as well as a tour of the Warehouse 6. And you also get to explore the botanist as well. So they bring in a little bit of the gin portion of the distillery here. Which is kind of cool too. So you kind of get like a double dip, if you will.
All right.
And that's it. And then you have a couple of things for the botanist gin side, but since we're scotching it, we're gonna keep scotching.
All right. One thing about Bruichladdich and the Octomore range is that since 2013, they do use only Scottish barley. Some of it, a large portion of it, actually grown on the island of Islay. A lot of the bottles and the more we've gotten to current times will literally tell you the barley type, where it's sourced from, sometimes even the farm and the farmers. So on this sweet ass canister, by the way, I love the packaging. Aged 5 years, cask type bourbon, barley origin, Scottish mainland, barley variety, Concerto limited edition release, bottled in 2022. Well, without further ado, I'm excited. Hope you're excited. This has got to be a badass scotch.
Are you asking me or them? Because I'm excited.
You. I mean, if I'm on the other side watching this, I'm drooling. Seriously, like these. If you can find one of these bottles, I was looking it up yesterday. I mean, if you can find one, you're paying about $400. Not that they're cheap when they first come out, but after sitting on this one for a couple years, the price has gone up.
It's almost doubled, right?
Yeah, in 3 years. 3.5 years, whatever. Close enough. The Octomore 13.1, the Octomore canisters, these are heavy-duty metal. They use a cardboard that's ribbed for her pleasure, his pleasure, who knows, to protect the bottle even further on the inside of the canister. The bottles, some of them are clear, but they are remarkably masculine, I think is a good way to put it. This is this is just fun for me, by the way. Not that I had a hard day, not that I'm having a huge celebration, but this would definitely be the scotch for either of those two things. The foil itself, not super impressive, pretty basic, not a whole lot of detail on it. However, solid wood top, solid cork, man. Oh, and a nose that goes for days.
Solid nose. Solid canister. Thank you, sir.
This doesn't make you rock hard. Nothing will.
It's time to rock out your cops out.
Rock out with your scotch out. That's right. Rock out with your scotch out. Scotch. Scotch.
All right. With that, I guess it's time for our tasty notes and warp speed. So cheers.
Cheers.
Let's start off first with the presentation. The Bruichladdich Octomore 13.1. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. And here's the thing, I didn't put my points down yet. But it is 5 out of 5 for the presentation. You got to love the canister, love the bottle. wooden top, the real cork, and one of the big things I'll mention about the canisters. I'm not sure if it's this one or if it was a different one, but I know you dropped one and it dented and it did not harm the bottle.
That actually wasn't this one.
It was the tan one, right?
Yeah, it was the tan one. But this one, at one point, I dropped the damn bottle out of the canister, and thank God for this giant wooden top, because this giant solid wooden top saved its ass. Saved my ass.
If I could give it bonus points for this, I would on the presentation part. But yeah, it's worth it. A 5 out of 5 there. All right, now the sunshine, or the color, right? So here, the color, I put pale straw like Angela's sunlit hair, gleaming with a fiery chaos to her next meltdown with Tommy over FaceTime.
If you've seen Landman, you have an idea.
Well, we are talking about Landman this episode. But yeah, it's a nice pale straw, which it does lead up to a fiery chaos once it comes to the nose. So, the first thing up here, the color obviously gets 5 out of 5. The nose smells like an oil man's coastal weekend. It has sweet smoked barley with notes of apricot and pear and hints of oak, which is married to some maritime notes of and then notes put here vanilla and citrus. I love the nose itself. I'm giving that 28 points. I thought it was great. I enjoyed that. The palate. I really found lovely as well. It's like Rebecca Falcone's. She's smooth and composed on the surface, but with an oily grit.
Dude, she's the lawyer I would absolutely 100% want if I could afford her.
Is she not like smooth and composed on the outside, and then all of a sudden she has like that gritty underbelly to her?
Any man who gets a woman like that and can keep her, good for him. He's got to be a billionaire.
So that's how I described the palette as far as like tying it into to Landman, but really it's a light palette, light body palette there. It has notes of cigar, vanilla, bacon fat with some brine. And then I got hints of like some pineapple and cantaloupe with some spicy oak, which I thought was very enjoyable. I gave that 28 points as well.
Dude, our scores are exactly the same so far.
Okay, because you might be able to give me what my score is without me having to do the calculator. All right, so this now takes us to our finish. And here I said the finish lingers like a long sunset in the patch. It's long, warm, and dry with notes of petrol, hints of citrus, and honey sweetness, and a touch of sea salt and spice. I also enjoyed it a lot, but it wasn't my favorite part of it, so I did give it 27 out of 28, or 27 out of 30.
All right.
So that gives us 95. Okay, cool. Thank you. Black tie, yes. Shelf, yes. Game night, no, because of cost, and this would be more of a hoard type thing. I think that covers everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. How close was I to your points?
1 point off.
Oh, you gave me the finish 28 too?
I did give the finish a 28 too, and that was the hardest part for me because it is the longest finish on any Scotch longest good finish on any Scotch I think I've ever had. And normally, for those of you that watch the show, like this isn't normal to be this far in after the tasting and have this much left. But this is such a potent, beautiful Scotch that the baby sips carry it so far. It's like the difference between eau de toilette water and toilette and perfume. Oh my goodness! All right. I love the Scotch. It's tough too because like I'm trying to think back to like the 14.1 or the 15.1. I think they were good, but were they this good? Now I truly wonder, because this is dynamite. This is amazing to me. So with this 13.1, as mentioned, the solid metal canister with the cardboard inside, the solid wood topper, this is just sexy. This is a sexy, manly bottle of Scotch with a sexy, manly canister to go with it. Absolutely 5 out of 5. This is one of those things where if we did give bonus points, it would earn them. Color, man, this is Rumpelstiltskin's Gasoline Gold Delight. This is a beautiful color. It really is. Knowing that it's non-chill filtered, no color added, makes it that much better. The nose. Oh, I love this nose. And 28, just going to throw that out there. It starts out, the nose is sweet, and it's sweet lemon, sweet coconut, sweet toffee, sweet rich peat. You get the hint here. It is sweet. There is this utter essence on the nose of these sweet smells, including rich peat smoke, if that can possibly be sweet. But I think a lot of this comes from the smell also of that heather honey. And then also, I'm going to say smoked peaches and apricots. There is absolutely a presence on the nose and throughout this wonderful treat of a maritime brine. And then the man, it's just, it's a beautiful nose. So 28 on the nose. On the palate, a lot of those same pieces come through. And man, good. Gotta use this as an excuse to take a sip. It's not overly coating. The mouthfeel is not overly coating. It is very refreshing in the sense that, again, on the palate, there's that lemon. It starts out very sweet, lemon and coconut, a creamy vanilla toffee, and that's about as creamy or thick as the Scotch gets. That rich peat and smoke come back through. There seems to be, as there's the transition, going from the palate to the finish, that maritime brine really peaks, and so does somewhat of a sharp ginger spice on the tongue. 28 on the palate, also for me, 28 on the finish. My total score was a 96. The finish is less complicated, more simple, but utterly delicious. It's like the way you'd want any great date to end. Earthy peat, salty smoke, and I love the salty smoke. Like, it's got that brine, but it's like legitimately salty smoke. You're taking some cloud out of the air and adding salt to it and making it delicious. Definitely those hints of the dark embers there. And then again, a slight hint of lemon ginger. Definitely up there with, if not my favorite Scotch, up there with the top few. I also, though, love the super heavily peated Scotches. Now, Bruichladdich, the distillery, with their classic laddie, they don't add any peat. They save that for the other ranges, including this Octomore, which is one of the heaviest peated Scotches on the planet and gets pretty good reviews for its limited production quality as each one of these expressions comes out. Black tie, absolutely, if they're lucky. Like, this is like the ultimate black tie, Dracula black tie. Game night now, and even if I could find a dozen bottles at $400 a bottle, no, you got to be special to be celebrating this with me. And then, is there a place on the shelf? Absolutely.
It's time for our shout-outs.
I will say, like, I'm just going to throw it out there. One, get it together. It can be controversy or not. I don't know that it's so much a wrong thing to do, but it's definitely not playing fair, so to speak, what Lando Norris did, constantly getting updates during his cool down lap. at the Singapore Grand Prix in order to make sure Verstappen got that little bit of dirty air around that pinnacle corner of the track. I don't know why people haven't been talking about that. It's not that it was just a little stretch. It was around a pinnacle corner of the track where if you get dirty air, it's like so many other people could have done. He could have landed in the wall. Not worth it. So, I just think if Lando Norris hadn't been getting updates the whole time about where Verstappen was, making sure he finished where he did, slowing down enough that he lost 8 seconds on Verstappen, I wouldn't have lost all respect for him. But I think I'm at the point finally where this reminds me of the McLaren of old, where they were cheating and breaking rules and doing things, just not being good sportsmen to each other. Like, look at Piastri. He looks like he's literally turning into goddamn Darth Vader from Anakin Love Story. It's crazy the things that are going on. So that's my get it together. I'm going to give a shout out to my son, my daughter, and anyone else out there who I think those two individuals, my son and my daughter, are very proud of them. Could not be more proud of them. Gen Zs that give me hope for the future. But I see them both as individuals who are more concerned about their character than what others think of their appearance. And I believe that that's a really great quality, not to see what I would classify so many of other generations more worried about their looks than their actual character, who they are when nobody's looking. And I love it. I think it's great. So shout out to all of those of you out there who are more concerned about your character than the way you appear to someone else.
Those are pretty good ones. I was going to give a shout out to Piastri because I agree with the way he acted at the end.
Dude, it is so bad. Like, if they don't fix that, they will demolish. They will implode.
And I'm going to give a shout out to the Democrats, too, for closing down the government. Now we all know who you really support, and it's not the American people. So thank you. Shout out to you guys for showing us your true colors and making it very obvious.
Yeah, agreed. That's just insane. Literally.
Oh, one more shout out. Shout out to Candace Owens for dropping receipts.
Oh, man. Yeah, she let out some names.
She let out some names. She put out some information to prove what she was saying. So she dropped some receipts, and she also did a dead man trigger, sending out information to other people. So if something were to happen to her, and she left this earth unexpectedly, this information will get out to the people.
Yeah.
So anyway, shout out to all three of those. Kind of a weird shout out week, but there you have it.
It is a little bit different. This week's restaurant review, the Wood Paddle Pizza and Tap. Now we went to the location in Aurora at Quincy and Buckley. You want to kick her off?
Go ahead.
All right, so we shared an appetizer and a pizza. We shared the meatball appetizer and the carnivore pizza. For Noah, he will talk about his drink, which he greatly enjoyed. I greatly enjoyed mine as well, because it's not often I find the Piggyback Rides IPA on tap from Launchpad Brewery anywhere except for Launchpad Brewery. So it was literally a delight after a week of disappointing beers, minus interestingly enough, another one we had at the beginning of that week, which was Strawberry Moon, also on tap at JJ's Place in Aurora. But so getting back to the subject here, I know Noah's scores is probably going to vary a little bit from mine. As I drove up, the exterior is not great. The parking lot It looks like it's been through enough remodels that it is genuinely discombobulated. The outside of the building is not great. 5 for the exterior. Interior kind of follows the same pattern. It doesn't look like they really had a plan. They threw the bar in one corner, seating in the others. It does kind of remind me of that old style pizzeria. But that's not sexy. So ultimately the interior with a bunch of wooden paddles all over one wall of the interior also gets a 5. Now the service was very good. The service I'm giving an 8. Attentive, delivered the food as promised with the appetizer before the pizza. And all that together, value a 7. So my total score was a 6.6. Now with the meatball appetizer, I thought they were very good. I loved the meatballs. I only ate 2. I don't know that you want a whole lot. The appetizer itself comes with 5, but I did enjoy the sauce, and I did enjoy the consistency to the point of which they cooked the meatballs that were not too dry. They had great flavor, and the consistency was great. Then the carnivore pizza. They use clearly real toppings. Now, I'm not sure this is for everyone because real cheese sometimes, if you don't get enough sauce, it's thick. Whole milk mozzarella is thick on the top of a pizza. It is a different experience, but with the pepperoni and the sausage, I wish there'd been a little bit more bacon. Once before I had this pizza and it had more bacon consistently throughout. That was the one piece missing, but still great. Again, so food for me an 8 because of those two and the Piggyback Rides IPA. Value is 7. The value drops because of the interior and the exterior. 6.6 total. Would I meet a friend there? Yeah. The thing is, I wouldn't go out of my way to meet a friend there. Would I go there with someone I was interested in taking on a date? Yeah, but again, I would find so many other places. There's so many great places, especially if I'm going for pizza. So clearly, if you can't tell by those two reactions, it is not a destination.
All right. Well, for me, outside, the parking wasn't great. The drive to the parking area, a little bit. It is a little bit of a nightmare. I gave that a 5. Inside, I thought for what they had, like the spacing that they had or whatever, I thought they designed it okay. I actually gave it a 7. I did like all the paddles on the wall. I liked the big clay oven or whatever they had for the pizza, so that looked kind of cool. So yeah, the inside got a 7. The food, I enjoyed the meatballs as well. I think the way you described it was perfect. The pizza, I thought it was decent. Have I had better pizza? I would like to say yes, I've had. Have I had worse pizza? I definitely could say I have. So I gave the food a 7. Service, I gave a 5.
Oh, hey.
And here's the thing with the service. Were they attentive? Yes, you're right. They were. Like for you, because you got a beer, like they actually delivered your beer to you all the time or whatever. But if you order a soda, you actually have to go up and get your own soda, which in a way is a positive. In a way, it's a negative. Because if everything else is being served to you, then why isn't your soda being served to you? But here's also the benefit of this is that they have Jones's soda, which is pure sugar, or has a cane sugar instead of high fructose corn syrup, and it's fountain, and you can get it, and it has free refills, so you can go up and get as many refills as you want and try all the different Jones sodas that they have on the fountain tap. So in a way, even though I think it should be served to you, it was actually a bonus because then that way I could try multiple flavors of Jones sodas. Which one of my favorites is the root beer, and they had that option. One of the ones I do like a lot, which was not there, was cream soda, but they did have this orange cream soda, which was really good. And then you had this green apple one, which I thought was going to taste better, but it almost like tasted bland. Drank way too much soda. Usually I don't drink a whole lot of soda. It's like recently I've drank a little bit more soda just because of like Sprites and stuff. Mostly Sprite, just help me burp and stuff like that. But that may be TMI right there for everybody. But in any case, the service gets a 5. I just kind of felt like that was a drop. It's a plus and a negative. I don't know how to that's why I didn't know how to score.
I will say that though, when he put your glass down, your empty cup down on the table, it was almost aggressively and made a lot of noise and walked away and didn't say anything else. I did find that, and I'm not the one that was being served, so it's not quite the same, but I did find that off-putting. That was the one thing about the whole experience where I'm like, that felt ugly.
Well, see, that's the weird part. Is like him, I don't feel like we got to get service from. The girl, I thought she did great.
Yeah.
So, value, I gave it a 5. My grand total was 5.8. That's when I meet a friend there. If a friend really wanted to meet there, sure, I'll do it, but it's not the place I would want to go. And I probably would make some suggestions to other places. Would I take a date there? No, unless she really pushed for it. But if that's the case, then maybe we shouldn't be dating in the first place. So is the destination no.
Smarter challenges.
Moving on down the road, this week's Smarter Challenge, Landman, the TV series. It's an American drama television series. It was created by Taylor Sheridan and Christian Wallace. Interestingly enough, it was originally inspired by the podcast series Boomtown, which was hosted by Wallace. The movie or the TV series does star as its main character Billy Bob Thornton as a landman for an oil company. The show originally premiered just under a year ago now, November 17th, 2024 on Paramount Plus. The series was renewed for a second season, which comes out November 16th, 2025. So just a month and 8 days from now. I'm excited for that. And I am actually excited for that. And I think this is great because I can. The last time I was somewhat excited for a TV series to watch as it was airing was The House of the Dragon. And before...
Did that end?
I think they're in another season, but if it when the first season came out, I was excited for it. After the first season, I was like, this is okay. Like season 2 was pretty good. I don't know if it's over or not. Like that's where
I don't even know if I watched the second season.
Dude, it's not as great. It's inspiring. I want a dragon too. But this one has me excited. I can tell you it's been, almost 20 years now. That's kind of both happy and sad since I was like super excited every Sunday to watch a new Sopranos when The Sopranos was out.
Oh, The Sopranos. That was, I love that.
Right. And so with Landman, this is the first series in a very long time where I'm like, I will probably actually try to watch it when it comes out. And hopefully it doesn't disappoint because that's usually what happens. Something disappoints and it's like, okay, this got stupid real quick. But there are 10 episodes in season 1. Again, main character Billy Bob Thornton as Tommy Norris. And then you've got Allie Larder, Tommy's ex-wife and love interest, Jacob Laughlin as Cooper Norris, Tommy and Angela's son. He also plays a very interesting character. Michelle Randolph as Ainsley Norris, Tommy and Angela's strong-willed daughter.
I mean, she's like an image of her mother.
Yeah. Also Cooper's sister. So they did grow up together. Slight different age difference, which also does show its face during the first season. Those are the main characters there. Demi Moore does play Cammy Miller, and John Hamm plays Monty Miller, who, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it and you wanted to. Things don't go Monty's way. So as we kick it off, biggest three questions I had. Number one, what did you think of the series in general and its portrayal on reality?
First of all, I enjoyed the series. I thought it was a fun series. There's definitely some humorous moments that made me laugh quite a bit. There's other moments that you like, dang, that hits home. There's some reality there. How much does it really portray or show how the oil fields really are? I don't know, because I don't have anyone that I know that works in the oil field, so I couldn't really say like if that's really a true depiction of like what a landman is, or like what some of the people that work there go through. But it was a very entertaining show, and it was. I think the one thing they did kind of convey that's probably, that I know is true, is that it is a dangerous profession. And I think the one thing that maybe I think Tommy says, I think he was telling his son, or it might have been somebody else. It might have been Rebecca Facone.
Okay.
I'm not really sure who he said it to, but basically, I know he's talked about it a couple times about like what type of people come there to work. And basically, he says like at this point, like the people who come there to work are people who basically have like no other options but want to make money, right?
A lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money. Because I think it's even talked about really at the very beginning of the movie, like you could be a thief or be an ex-con or whatever, and the only way you're going to make this kind of money is if you stay in that type of life, or you come over and you come work in the oil fields, and you can make over six figures. You can make six figures plus in the oil fields, and I think there's a lot of reality to that. In fact, I have one friend, but we lost touch a long, long time ago. Where he was a mechanic, and I know he left to go work in the oil fields. But when he started working in the oil fields, we lost touch. So I don't know like what happened to him since then. But I know when he went to go start working there, he had no real experience as far as like the oil fields go. But they were starting him over six figures, and that was like in the
20 years ago.
That was like in the 90s.
30 years ago.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I know there's like tons of money to be made there, and I also know it's really dangerous. And I know they go in shifts. They like work like a month or whatever, and then or maybe it's a couple weeks. It's kind of like, I'm not exactly sure what the schedule is, but I do know like they work in shifts. Like they work for a little bit and they got time off, and then they work for a little bit and they got time off. And I think in the first episode, it was I think he was one of the guys was saying that, hey, my cousin, it's either his cousin or his brother's, like, he has a house paid off, he has his truck paid off, he has like, he's, all this money, he has a family. He's like, how many like 22-year-olds that has all this going for them? So like, so I think it does depict that it's a lot of money can be made here, but it's also not the safest job to have. I'm not sure if that's what you're looking for, but that's what you got.
No, I think for me, the TV series, and you explained it very well, it is utterly hysterical at times. And a moment later, it goes from rolling on the floor laughing to, yeah, that really did hit hard. That's real. And I think that's my favorite part of this series right now. And I do believe Billy Bob Thornton brings a big piece of that into it, is just the reality. Anyone who's been on this planet for more than 30 years is going to see things in this show where it's like, yeah, that's real. And it's either funny or it's terrifying or it's sad or it's heartbreaking. So this show does a really nice job using its time to explore this landman's roles in life while also exploiting our emotions. And you mentioned Rebecca Falcone, played by Kayla Wallace. She does an absolutely phenomenal job as a causation lawyer. Again, she just does a phenomenal job, but so does Allie Larder as Billy Bob Thornton's quote unquote ex-wife. She's a hot mess. She's definitely,
you can say that again.
She's definitely up there on the crazy hot scale, but there's one of those pieces where like Billy Bob Thornton needs none of this. But when asked, he's just very simple. He's honest. He's like, I can't say no to her.
Because she is crazy and hot.
Well, but what I also think this is what I love about Billy Bob Thornton's character, Tommy Norris, is that even though he knows it could cause him pleasure in the immediate future, before he receives that pleasure, if he's got anything he has to say, he will be 100% honest, protecting his character more than his pleasure. And I love that. Like, I think the world needs more of that because it's genuine and it's not just lying and taking advantage of people. It is a show where I don't know that I'd want to be any of these characters, but I respect every single one of the ones that does protect their character.
And his daughter is definitely following in her mother's footsteps. She is crazy hot as well. She's on that crazy hot scale.
It's absolutely riotous and maddening. It's a lot of fun. Okay, favorite character or two or three if you have a hard time.
All right, my favorite character, it's gonna, I don't know. Maybe it's just because of how he acts or his reactions to everything. Has to be Nathan.
Oh my goodness. The laid back oil man.
The laid back lawyer.
Okay.
Right? That's where he works out of the house. And then you got Billy Bob Thornton's daughter, Ansley, walking around all over the place, like
in her
underwear and stuff like that. And he's like trying not to like look at her or stare or anything like that. But he knows like she is like crazy hot. But also underage because she's still in high school, and he knows
she's starting college.
But right now she's a senior. She's in high school. So, but he knows like this is just a total like this could be a possible lawsuit just waiting to happen, right? And so he's trying his best, like try to limit whatever exposure there is for a lawsuit. But Tommy doesn't give a F. He's like, whatever. And obviously his daughter doesn't care either. And his reactions throughout the whole show is like, fuck, basically. Hey, I think one part is like, she like goes and like she asks for some coconut oil. And he ends up like grabbing like a tub of like, I don't know, some kind
Crisco
of
or something.
Yeah, and she goes, takes it outside. He's like, all right, I have to know. He's like so conflicted. He's like, fuck, this is so stupid.
What the hell is she using this for?
And you know, you see, like, is she gonna put that on herself?
Like, really? Oh, yep. There we go. I had to know.
and then you know, there's like the whole like family dinners that his wife and that Angela puts on and stuff like that. He's just like, oh fuck, man. It just his advice to Tommy about all this and how he reacts, and even how he reacts to Rebecca Falcone. He's like, yeah, I know, but he's just like,
I know.
I think his character, the way he does his character, I found so much humor in his character.
So I agree with you as far as like there's so much humor in his character. I don't know how you like don't like though Dale Bradley, the petroleum engineer guy, the big petroleum engineer guy that's always there too, who's there at the door when her new boyfriend comes over, and he's like, "Hello, is she here?" And he's like, "What do you mean is she here? Like, does she? What do you mean is she here?" Like, and the boyfriend's like, "Well, like, she told me to come over and see her." And he's like, "So are you saying?" He's like, "Are you saying you know she's here? Like, what are you saying, man?" She's totally messes with him for like 3 straight minutes, and it's like, "I'm just fucking with you. Let's go. Come on, get in there, man." But then it's also great.
It's almost like they play kind of like Ansley's protective uncles.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think that's where it goes. Is they don't start out that way, but they end up there very quickly.
Yeah.
All right. I've got to say, man, Kayla Wallace does a phenomenal job. She is one of my 2 favorite characters.
Which one?
The lawyer, Falcone. But Billy Bob Thornton definitely steals the show. There's a reason he's the headliner. Ham does a really nice job too. Like he does a really good job being the billionaire. I'm curious to see what Demi Moore will do in season 2. All right.
So I gotta give a shout out to Angela, Angela's character, which is played by Ellie Larder.
Okay.
She does a great job of playing this total chaotic, crazy woman. And I don't know, like she brought so much like color to the show that it made it entertaining and yet frustrating at the same time. Like her whole part of like taking like a bunch of old people to a strip club. I mean, I get it. It's real. It's funny. It's like, but it's so like over the top absurd.
Unconventional.
Yeah, unconventional. That her character really like is kind of like, I don't know. It's almost like a fun distraction from the show too. And she is like totally self-centered. But then you see like when something happens to her children, like all of a sudden it totally switches off. Like that whole the world centers around her. That part switches off when it does become time for her to be concerned about her kids. And Tommy, the way he it's really hard to pick like a total favorite.
Dude, Tommy's totally my favorite though.
I mean, Tommy's you're right. Like
he's so stoic.
I mean. He is the headliner for a reason, and he does a great job. I just didn't want to choose the obvious character. And I think that's the reason why I had to go with Nathan. But honestly, there's a lot of great characters in here.
There are. It was cast very, very well. Again, very excited to see the chemistry they can or cannot bring into season 2. I'm actually almost worried about the introduction of all of these special characters, including Andy Garcia and Sam Elliott that they're bringing into season 2. Sometimes bringing in other, and they can be great actors, actually does damage to the chemistry of the whole.
Yeah, we shall see. Okay, what was the next question?
The last one I have is, do you have any favorite scenes?
Oh, one of my favorite scenes definitely has to be when Angela takes the elderly people to the strip club. I mean, it's so over the top and absurd and crazy, but it's also real though, because like one of the old ladies is like, all I want is to have a dick in front of my face one more time. And I'm sure some of these old people who like live in these old elderly homes and stuff like that, that's probably like they probably do want to get laid one more time, or they do want to see that whatever one more time. And so she made it happen. And like honestly, when Ansley and Angela first walk into this old folks home, these people look like they were just honestly just waiting to die.
They were.
And then these 2 women, they brought like spice and fun back into their lives, and it's It was really some of the best scenes right there. Some of the funniest scenes.
I agree about a lot of that. That was absolutely great. I do think some of the best scenes, the funniest scenes, are the most ridiculous ones with the daughter. So, Michelle Randolph as Ainsley Norris playing the daughter, and just how it's actually beautiful how absurd and absurdly comfortable she is with her father. It's like literally beautiful to me, because he's like, what are you going to do? And she's like, well, Daddy, you said unless it's going to Bible study, you can't come over. So we're going to do Bible study. He's like, are you really going to do that? And she just looks at him like the way she tilts her head, like, Daddy, you already told me the lie. And then when the boyfriend comes over, he's like, what are you two up to? Bible study. What's your research? What's the topic for tonight? And the daughter is trying to like, and he's like, the theory or the
abstinence,
the practice of absinthe. And Lee Bob Thornton's just looking over like, abstinence. Do you even know what that is? And he's like, no. And it's just her role, and then other things I won't even repeat on this show that she does and says, where I'm just like, oh my God, like as a dad, you'd have to love that, but you also have to hate that.
I can only imagine if I was a dad and had a daughter like that. Like that was just like, it'd be like a total nightmare. It'd be like, I think the best way to sum it up, if you had a daughter like that, is that very first interaction that he has with her. He's like, I'm going to go get a Dr. Pepper.
Dude,
I don't know, but you have a daughter, so you can tell me.
His immediate response was the best, was, I asked. I'm going to go get Dr. Pepper.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if I was a dad.
Like, why did you ask?
If I was a dad and I was in that situation, I can't imagine anything else. I'd be like, I'm going to go grab something to drink.
Like, literally, and he knew it. He knew it was coming. He's like, I know I'm going to regret this, but I got to ask. No, you actually don't. But kudos to you for doing so. I loved that. I loved when Falcone goes in and just dominates as a causation lawyer, doing her job exceptionally. Not just well, exceptionally. But I also think it's very interesting because I think her and you mentioned the lawyer, Nathan, yeah. I think she and Nathan actually have something in common, whereas they unfortunately see everything out of their control as a liability. That's a reality. But it's a tragedy, too, because then all of a sudden you are forced to look at things differently, and you almost, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally, block out the beauty.
All right, I got to ask this question. If Angela doesn't show up, right, if she doesn't come to West Texas, does he have a shot with Rebecca? Does Tommy have a shot with Rebecca? Because honestly, I thought at one point they were going to, hit it.
You mean like if Angela had never left her husband?
Yes.
And come back to Billy Bob?
Do you think he would have had a shot? Because I think there was a moment there where I think he had a shot. It was a small window, but I think it was there, and then Angela fucked it up for him.
Angela definitely messed it up. I think there was a small window. I think he messed it up for himself, though. But I also think those are things where he already knew Angela was in town. And so he's not even looking at Falcone. Like, he's literally just not looking at her. Whereas if Angela had not been in town, I do think the whole thing coulda, woulda, and ended up differently. Yeah, it is interesting. I also think it's great that Falcone, her character, is literally everything anti-oil.
Yeah, I was gonna say like as a good scene. It's the last episode after the billionaire dies. Malone.
Yeah, the crumbs of hope.
And Tommy asks her to meet him out by one of the pumps, and he explains to her when she's like, "I'm against all this, and this," and he's like, "It doesn't fucking matter. Like, there's a need for this stuff. It was put in place before either one of us were on this earth, and it needs to be fed. So either you can do it, or I'm gonna find someone else to do it."
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't say exactly like that. I think you probably said it better than I did, like when we were talking the other day. But that was like such a great talk that he had with her that it finally made her realize, like, yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah, and there was the other piece of where she realizes, because he's like, yeah, he's dead. I'm the president. And she's like, why isn't he telling me this? Like, he's dead. I'm the president. I am the one telling you what to do now. And she's like...
Total role reversal, because she was like looking to get him axed, I think, at one point.
For sure, but he also wanted to get rid of her. And then he also has his own epiphany where he tells her, he's like, I didn't want you originally. He's like, but the truth of the matter is you're the best damn person I can imagine for this job. And he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. And he does say, like, hey, Malone saw something in you. You need to show it to me as well, though, because I thought he basically said, like, you did a damn good job at that one thing, but, like, I don't know if you...
Can you do it twice?
Yeah.
Biggest liability in the show.
Biggest liability? His daughter?
I want to actually go in a different direction and say his son, Cooper Norris. Cooper Norris, dude, keeps fucking him. Cooper Norris plays a great individual and a good person. And when I say good, I mean like good, morally, ethically, responsibly. He plays this great person, but he literally screws his dad over by not listening to him time and time again.
I mean, you make a very solid... I mean, Ansley, like, just popped in my mind because of, like, all the crazy stuff she does. And she is, like, yeah. But you like, he already cost his dad's company $3 million. I think the reason why I don't see him being a negative is because, like, I think near the end... Because he told his dad he wanted to be a landman. I think near the end, he took the lessons that he got and he started to put things together. And you see him close his first deal. So I think, honestly, he's going to be the biggest asset.
I think long term there is that chance.
I think short term, I think he is a big liability because of what he cost the company originally, with $3 million for those lawsuits and him getting involved with this girl, which is questionable at best. I think it's one of those things where he did not know what to do because the person on his squad or whatever on his team died. That was that guy's wife, or his partner's wife, and he was just trying to be a good person to help out. But I think it's one of those things where you know how they say, like,
no good deed goes unpunished.
Well, there's that, and you just, like, the heart wants what the heart wants. Sometimes, like, you don't mean to fall in love with someone, or you don't, like, mean to whatever, I guess. But that doesn't mean you just, like, accidentally, like, put your dick somewhere, right? Like, and he hasn't put his dick anywhere yet, but she definitely makes things worse by kissing him. Like, kissing him in front of, like, people who that is very questionable that he should be hanging out with her so closely after the death. And a lot of people blamed him for the accident, which really wasn't his fault at all, because he's a new guy. He had no effing clue what he was doing, and he was only doing what he was told to do. But some people didn't believe that, and they just needed a scapegoat.
I think he got the wick wet. Do you notice there's that one day she's all lovey on him, and the next day his ribs don't hurt no more?
There's a possibility because they were sleeping in a bed together, but They're trying to.
I'm talking about the couch.
Oh. You know.
All right,
I do
that's
think
all.
it's funny how every time they do try to kiss, so like the doorbell
Dude,
rings.
that was literally
The last one was like, "Hey, do you want to swam?"
I was laughing so hard for that one because I have literally been there. We're like, are you fucking kidding me?
Here's one thing I know. What I did not like agree with. Her being so pissed off at Tommy's character when he came over to ask the question. Like, what's going on with you guys? Like, I think that was him being like a parent, but also like being concerned because like he works for the company too. He has a right to ask, like, what's going on?
Well, I think how I viewed the whole perception there was how he was going to go confront his boss is if there's nothing really going on, no big deal, whatever. I'm going to go tell my boss it's nothing. Don't worry about it. But I think that's another one of those scenes that was absolutely a beautiful scene where Billy Bob's character, where Tommy is sitting there asking her, like, you know, what's going on between you two? And he's asking both of them, his son as well. And she takes it very offensively to that point where she's like, okay, now you're done eating, like leave.
See, and I don't think she should have gotten offended.
She shouldn't have, but I think I think the reality is again, this is one of the reasons I love this show. It shows the ridiculous insecurities most, if not all of us have around these pieces where at the end, after she excuses him, like he actually gives her the best compliment anyone could have given her, saying that she deserved that happiness more than anyone he knew. Exactly. And he wasn't he was sorry he offended her. And
he never once attacked her. He was just like, hey, like, what's going on? She's like, I don't know how to explain it. I think this is this and this is that. It's messy. And he's like, okay. I think he just needed to know if it was genuine, like if there was a genuine attraction between the two, or if it was like a thing.
That was the great part though, where he's asking his son like, what's going on? And his son's like, I can't say no. Yeah. And all of a sudden he's like, I got you.
As soon as the son, it's like, okay. And I think because like, here's the thing. I think he would have gone back to his boss saying like, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And I think Monty, is that his name, Monty?
Yeah.
I think Monty would have been cool with it, just knowing because like how long they've been family friends and stuff like that. He'd be like, all right, it's unfortunate, that sucks, but cool if it's. But I think what Monty really cared about was his son just being a dick to be a dick and cost the company $3 million because he knows what's going on, or was it because his son had true feelings and had concern for this person?
Yeah.
And I think Monty, I think that's the way Monty was telling him, like, hey, you need to go check on your son, see what's going on, because if it's a thing, well, then it's a thing, whatever. Because now it's like, his son, like Tommy's son, is kind of part of the, like Tommy, Monty, and all of them. They're like obviously Monty and Tommy have been friends for a long time, so that means. The son, I forget what's the son's name? Cooper. He knows Monty, and Monty knows Cooper. Like Cooper would be like an uncle to him, right? Like because they know each other. Like those families know each other. So honestly, and plus Cooper went to TCU, and Monty's daughter goes to TCU. So like they all know each other. So I think Monty was just being more concerned about like, why did your son do this? And if it's a thing, okay. Like, it's unfortunate, it sucks, but he knows the business and he's kind of like quasi-family.
Yeah.
But if it's not a thing and he's just being a dick or whatever, then we got issues. That's why I would see it in Monty's perspective, and I think that's the reason why his dad went over there, because his dad seemed pretty chill about him after he's like, I can't say no. He's like, I got you, son. And then he's like, all right. And he was just, I think he was just at that point being a concerned parent. Like, hey, so tell me what's going on.
Well, to me, the whole time, like that's another one of the beautiful things about this show and about Tommy Norris's character is there was not one time, except when his crazy ex-wife wanted sex, that he did not drop anything he needed to drop to go take care of his family in a heartbeat. Unless it was something ridiculous, like, hey, I need taking the old folks to this club, but whatever. And but when his daughter needed something or when his son needed something, he was always there.
Exactly. Which made him like a great character.
Well, and it also makes it real, though, because here's the thing, and I'm not saying societally this is the case 100% of the time, but I think, especially if you're looking at a Landman, a very conservative role, so to speak, not a whole lot of ladies in these roles, a lot of men, a lot of physical labor, and with this piece...
Can you imagine DEI here?
Dude. So with this piece, you have this thing where he doesn't see his kids much growing up. But man, and you can tell that the son is angry at him for something still. And that was the question. And we don't know that, but Monty knew it. To your point, Monty knew about this, the upbringing of this little one and why he might have this friction with dad, whereas the daughter has zero friction. And there's the biggest piece where Cooper and Ainsley are having a conversation at one of the meals. And
I think Cooper points out to more the fact that I thought he was more upset with his mom than his dad.
I don't know which one he's more upset with, but they have this dinner, and he's the one, though, who points out, and I think this is real, and this is sad, is he's like, I was old enough to remember when they split. And whatever we don't know, whatever we fully don't know, he remembers, and that's one of the things that fuels him to do what he's currently doing.
Actually, you might be right. He might be mad at his dad because Tommy does say somewhere in one of the episodes that when everything went down and he lost everything, he was drinking a lot, and he doesn't blame his wife for leaving him.
Yeah. And I'm guessing there was more than just drinking, just a guess. But I really do think that there's this friction there where Ainsley doesn't have the same, I'm going to say, emotional scars. And again, that's where it's sad, but that's real. That really does happen. And I think, if nothing else, man, kudos for Tommy Norris, the character, for working to still bridge these broken relationships.
Yep. Anything else?
No, great series. 2 thumbs up from this guy. I loved it. Again, it's very real, especially if you're mature. I don't know that an 18-year-old would see it the same way as someone who's been on this planet 30 years or more. Very great show.
I also concur that it's a great show. So next week's topic is a movie review of Tron Ares.
Yeah!
It was either that or to do a deep dive into the Skull and Bones, but we are going to visit Skull and Bones and look into the conspiracy theories there. But I figured since Tron Ares comes out this week, I think it'd be kind of, hopefully it'd be a great third movie to the Tron family. All right. Real quickly, if you made it this far, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate all of you who watch us on YouTube and Rumble. And we also greatly appreciate all of you who listen to us on the many different podcast platforms. If you do like our content, please like, share, and subscribe, and leave some comments down below. With that, I'm going to toss it over to Jesse to tell us whatever we need to hear before we say goodnight.
All right. Life is great. That doesn't mean it's always going to be easy. And actually, the difficult times make the hard times that much greater. The difficult times make the great times that much better. That's just a reality in life. You can't appreciate comfort without pain, and life is pain. People don't want to admit it, life is pain. And they say it really well in this Landman show where he talks about we can go 2 weeks without any problems and make a ton of money, and then we can have a week straight of every day losing money and having problems. That's part of life, but you know what? That's where we put on our big boy or big girl pants and we move forward and we do the things that need to be done. We grow, we thrive through the pain, and we are better for it. Do not drink and drive. Drink responsibly. I'm not sure if you saw the new Verstappen commercial with his Heineken, but it's awesome. So do not drink and drive. Drink responsibly. And until next week when we review Tron Aries.
Scotchman.
Cheers.
We hope you enjoyed this evening's episode of Scotch Hour. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you have not done so already, please become a patron member, with memberships starting as low as $1 a month. Thank you, and hopefully you have a wonderful evening.